Hey guys, Tillian here. Just really want to record a really quick video about my kind of experiences playing Wuthering Waves and ZZZ. Um, just from a perspective of somebody that's really new to the gacha space, number one, and two, someone that's never played Genshin Impact. I have really no expectations about these more actiony, party-based gacha game synergies. I really have only played HSR, a couple other mobile games that are similar, but nothing to like the level of like these more open world, or even like in ZZZ's case, a pseudo open world, more of a corridor world. But realistically, both of them are kind of built around like a synergy of teammates and action combat. Obviously, Wuthering Waves being praised, I think, a little bit more in this case as a more complete, complex, and difficult experience. I wouldn't say that either one of them are going to stretch you to the imagination of some of the more difficult games out there in the universe, but I think like they're essentially similar in their design. One's just a little bit more complex and deep, and gives it like maybe a little bit more rewarding experience. But just to give a heads up, I am very new to both games. I'm definitely not an expert in either one of them. For example, I'm looking at my Wuthering Waves account right now. Yeah, just to kind of show here, we are rank 4. We're a union, an onion level 35. So definitely newer to the game. Definitely not truly like an expert or anything. But I want to say from my perspective, I get it. I finally get it. I've heard from a lot of other content creators I trust. I've watched a lot of other content creators that I kind of trust their opinions. That Wuthering Waves and especially like ZZZ at the 1.4 are just substantially better experiences than they were, and just obviously just really good games that people need to try out. I've tried out both games previously. I played Wuthering Waves a little bit when I first heard about it, and then I played it again um, when I heard about the some of the other new content to it. And it could have been just my experience of who I pulled and what I got. I lost my first 50-50, which was tough. And then obviously, like, I just wasn't in love with who I ended up pulling off the standard banner, which was Calcharo. I just do not love his gameplay a lot, and I just really wasn't in tune with kind of the synergies, the combat, and the weave and flow of how you're supposed to play it. So I was kind of trying to hard press it, push him through. Um, but I will say that now that I'm kind of in that level 60 range, I've unlocked some of the um, the forte kind of skill set, so to speak. Here, I have a different perspective, and I finally kind of got it. I was going through the story content, and you're gonna have to excuse me. I was fighting the really big dragon, and doing that whole quest experience, and for the most part, I really wasn't really liking a lot of the Wuthering Waves story. In fact, I got to the point where I was just skipping every dialogue option I had. I was just not really enjoying it. But something about like once we got to the ending of that first story kind of chapter where you kind of have all the cutscenes and you fight that thing in the moon, I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. And then that whole second area was just way better. Really enjoyed that area a lot. I wouldn't say it's like the most gripping of stories that I've ever experienced, but I really enjoyed it. And the ending was just cinematic and a really good experience, and made you actually care about kind of the things that you did in that area. So I thought that was kind of maybe one of the things that helped me like, kind of get gripped into the story. Um, Secondly was pulling Carlotta. Like, this has been a revelation for me as far as playing the game. She plays so much differently than a standard banner character, and I've been having a ton of fun just like her at level 50. So obviously a new player experience. Um, Been really cool. Really excited to kind of check out some of the synergies that I can build with just what I have, and obviously cool to see what maybe comes down the pike with what works with her. So again, really kind of early experience from a Wuthering Waves like perspective. To kind of push over to ZZZ as well. I was in the same boat. I tried the game out. I I didn't really love it. The combat seemed very left clicky, very pressy, and then you just kind of like eventually meat shielded things down. But I got Miyabi, and I got her signature weapon, and I know like you're basically kind of doing the same thing, right? You're just destroying that game with Miyabi and her signature weapon. However, like I'm finally starting to understand the synergies of the combat, and I think it's why both games are starting to connect with me a little bit more, and really kind of digging their hooks into me. I'm understanding that dance of combat, that flow back and forth between like a main DPS, a sub DPS if you're using a sub DPS, or like maybe even a hyper carry scenario. Um, from a person that comes from this, like from a way different perspective, that doesn't have a lot of experience in gacha games, that never played Genshin Impact, that doesn't understand kind of like action team combat perspectives. Like that's something that just did not make a lot of sense to me as a long time turn-based combat person. It just that notion of how and why just didn't click with my brain, and now I'm finally starting to get into this habit of, okay, like we're weaving in and out, we're making sure that it makes sense, we're making sure that we're getting our buffers out there, we're making sure that we're synergizing with our sub. Like that stuff's starting to click with me, and it's becoming an incredibly rewarding gameplay experience. So I just want to make a quick video about it. I wanted to talk about my perspectives. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it. And if you have anything else you'd like to add, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Other than that, you can find me on twitch.tv/tilionplay. I like to stream every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. New to content creation myself, but new to the gacha space and in general, and really starting to enjoy these more actiony party-based games. And I think a lot of it has to do with these great new character designs that they both released. So with that, I'll say, catch you next time. Tillion out. Bye, y'all.